A very good evening to you, and thanks for joining Mark, myself and the team tonight on NTV Tonight. These are our top stories.
Tonight, Kenyan admitted on arrival from China in a suspected case of the killer virus.
We're just wishing that the embassy could get more directly involved with this situation.
Hundreds stranded in the Chinese city of Wuhan, with government giving little to no direction.
Also ahead, the bandits are at it again. Death and destruction returns to Kapedo. Residents living in fear as revenge attacks loom following latest ambush.
Is it a case of justice to the highest bidder? The pain of a snail-paced judicial system.
Nimefanya kesi miaka kutoka 65. Sasa ni watu wamejega shamba yangu, mimi najaribu kuwafukuza mpaka hata inashindikana, na nikija kotini napigwa miaka miwili.
It's a whole morning wasted. If we had known come at 2 o'clock, we would have prepared all that. Wouldn't have been here hanging around spending money which we don't have.
Wanjiku is tired. Someone wake up the justice system.
Plus, the latest twist in the BBI narrative is the plot to impeach the president.
We know they are building up issues so that they initiate the impeachment of the president.
Na hiyo safari hakuna mtu atanizuia jameni. Hiyo nimesema. Hiyo safari nitatimiza.
What next for the initiative to build bridges?
Live from Nation Center, this is NTV Tonight with Smriti, Vidyarthi and Mark Masai.
Once again, we're glad you've chosen NTV Tonight for your news update. David Agondo is our co-presenter in sign language. Now, tonight the country is on high alert following a suspected case of the deadly coronavirus. A Kenyan student returning from China has been admitted at the Kenyatta National Hospital isolation ward after exhibiting flu-like symptoms.
Hundreds more students are still stranded in the affected Chinese city of Wuhan with no proper communication from authorities. Eunice Amolo reports that these students want the Kenyan embassy to evacuate them as soon as possible.
9:30 a.m. on Tuesday, the Kenyatta National Hospital received the first suspected case of coronavirus in Kenya. The Kenyan student studying in Wuhan, China, boarded flight KQ887 from Guangzhou, China. He was found to have the fever and was temporarily held at the JKIA holding room and later transferred to the infectious disease unit at KNH.
Tomorrow, by close of business, we will have ruled out either positive or negative for this particular case. But important to note is that we are doing, the investigation is being undertaken both in country, but also we've called for additional support through the WHO by our colleagues in WHO based in South Africa.
Back in ground zero, hundreds more Kenyans are still stuck. Anthony Waigwa is a PhD student at the Chinese Academy of Sciences in Wuhan.
They're supposed to remain indoors or within the confines of the walls of the institutions. We have started receiving basic supplies and some cooking items from the institution. But our main challenge is we cannot guarantee our safety, and nobody can guarantee our safety. We just hope that we don't contract the disease, because once you contract it, then we don't know your chances of survival. What you are seeing is one of the main roads.
The city is in a complete lockdown as authorities monitor movement.
Public gatherings are also discouraged. We're just wishing that the embassy could get more directly involved with this situation. They asked for our names initially, and they had said that they want to evacuate us, but that has not been forthcoming so far, so we are just waiting. So we hope that the situation will be managed, and we hope to get out of this safe.
The National Health Service Commission in China says 106 have died from the virus and 4,515 cases reported. The virus is feared to have spread to over 10 countries, with close to 40 cases reported outside China. A suspected case in Ethiopia has tested negative, while another case reported in Ivory Coast is yet to be verified. Countries are setting sight on the International Health Agency, WHO, even as the Special Health Committee meets to give and get insights on the new strain of coronavirus that is spreading across the borders. Eunice Omolo, NTV, Nairobi.
Well, that's certainly a story that we will be keeping a close eye on. Elsewhere, 3 people, including a rapid deployment unit officer, have been killed and more than 10 others injured in yet another bandit attack in Kapedo in Turkana County.
The early morning incident has caused anxiety, understandably, among the residents in a region that has known the sound of guns for years now, in conflicts over water and pasture.
Leila Mohammed reports that security has been beefed up in the area to prevent reprisal attacks.
Nurses at the Rift Valley General Hospital in Nakuru attend to some of the survivors of the latest attack in Kapedo, about 100 kilometers away from Nakuru town. The men lie in their beds, nursing bullet wounds but lucky to be alive. Doctors say the patients have been treated for gunshot wounds and are currently under care at the facility.
Out of the 9, one was in a bad condition, had a gunshot to the chest. That patient has been put what we call a chest tube to drain the blood from the chest.
While on a journey back to Lomelo after a day's work, they drove into an ambush laid on the bridge connecting Kapedo to Vidyarthi at around 5 p.m. Monday. The survivors say a distress call saved their lives as more officers and the KDF based in Loruk came to their aid.
Mtu wa kwanza kuuawa ilikuwa ni askari ya RDU. Lori naye kagongwa mguu. Sasa wale wengine waliweza kukabiliana na hiyo maadui wengine.
Back in Kapedo, other survivors are recuperating. A sense of anxiety is palpable at the trading center. Many shop owners have decided to stay away, fearing for more attacks. The people here are concerned about the frequency of attacks along an important route connecting major towns of Marigat, Chemolingot and Kapedo. Some of those attacked were workers repairing a road.
Serikali Kenya inabidi wakuwe wengi ndio watu waweze kuwa na amani kwa hiyo barabara.
Leaders from Turkana have condemned the attacks while asking government to ensure that both sides surrender illegal firearms to ensure that peace and the silence of bullets prevails in the area. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
The judiciary is tonight on notice, quite literally. This morning, Kenyans woke up to banners draped over footbridges on Nairobi's major highways, calling out the custodians of the country's justice system. The judiciary is accused of double standards, one for the rich and powerful and another for the common mwananchi.
The banners gave voice to the thousands who, unlike President Uhuru Kenyatta and the legislature, are at the mercy of a broken justice system. NTV's Olive Burrows puts a face to those voices.
As Kenyans went about their business on Tuesday morning, they were confronted with several hard truths. Why are the majority of inmates in Kenya the poor people? A banner hanging off the Ngara footbridge posed. Another hanging off the Mudhurwa footbridge asked, will Kidero, Sonko or Waititu ever set foot in jail for corruption? A third hanging off the Nyayo Stadium footbridge simply stated the truth of the matter. Akashas were free in Kenya for 4 years with cases but were jailed in 2 months by a USA court. All to make the point that in Kenya, just like on the roads over which the banners hang, there's a special set of rules for the rich and powerful. Their kind are allowed to run roughshod over a system that should ideally be blind.
Somebody's arrested, you've got a batteries of lawyers, some of them members of parliament, rushing to go and defend them. Then now they should not sleep in remand. They are sick. They have been taken to Kenyatta or Nairobi. The court is so quick in giving bail to get them out of the, you see. Then they just go out and then the case will never be heard. until evidence is lost.
And this is a man who claims to be worth 2 billion shillings, a man born into a political lineage. Odinga echoing the frustration already voiced by another billionaire, the president.
Surely, if we are working for the same public interest, I ask myself, why is it that 99% of these cases are filed by one person? And you, as a munampatia same day, hata hamgojei ati muambia kuja next week, same day.
And that's only the most powerful man in Kenya.
Na nimefanya kesi miaka kutoka 65. Sasa ni watu wamejega shamba yangu, mimi najaribu kuwafuguza mpaka hata inashindikana. Na nikija kotini napigwa miaka 2. Hata saa hii nilikuwa na kesi Januari. Sasa nikaandikiwa 2020. Na sasa hata ni mention sio hearing. Niko na 87 years na wale tumefanya kesi naye wote wamekufa. Ni watoto wananisumbua.
I've been attending this whole marital process thing, divorce and everything, since 2008. Okay. And we've been waiting for a long time, by the way. This case was meant to happen at 12. Then it has been pushed. No, it was meant to happen at 10. Then it's been pushed to 12. And now it's been pushed to 2 o'clock. It's a whole morning wasted. If we had known, come at 2 o'clock, we would have prepared all that. Wouldn't have been here hanging around, spending money which we don't have. Sometimes you get here and you're told, you know what, your case is not on. It's like, but, you know, we've prepared ourselves for this. It's not fair. Somebody's gone off on leave, so what happens to us? Yeah.
And though the judiciary may parade statistics to show how much different things are now as compared to the dark ages that preceded the judicial reforms, things remain far from ideal.
They wake up with a cock's crow, eager to make it to court on time given the long distances they have to travel. They put on their best clothes, keen to make a good impression, hoping that this will be the day that justice is served. But they soon come to learn the truth of the adage that justice delayed is justice denied.
And so, as the executive, the judiciary and legislature engage in a fight of egos, Wanjiku continues to pay the price. Olive Barrows, NTV.
Well, Embakasi East MP Babu Owino is finally free after posting a 2.5 million shilling bail as the first bail installment.
The court on Monday imposed a 10 million shilling bail to be paid in installments as a condition to release the legislator in a precedent not seen before.
Well, also raising eyebrows is an order restraining the controversial Member of Parliament from partaking in narcotics, with many questioning how that will be imposed.
Mel Miendo breaks down the bail ruling and what it portends going forward.
A 1.9 million shilling cash bail has been posted by Embakasi East MP Babu Owino's lawyers, adding to the 600,000 shillings paid prior. This is the first of 3 more installments of 2.5 million shillings to be paid by the legislator. The bail ruling by Milimani Chief Magistrate Francis Andai is the first of its kind where the courts have allowed an accused person to post bail in installments. The precedent has been received with varying reactions. The Law Society of Kenya says the directive of installments is new to Kenyan jurisprudence but seems innovative in allowing one to pay a higher bail amount. It would be interesting to see how the Supreme Court would pronounce itself on this matter, given that it is the highest court in the land. The statement reads,
"There is no provision in the law that prohibits that, and I think some creativity in administration of justice can go a long way in securing fairness in situations of this kind."
Magistrate Andai stated that there were compelling reasons to deny the MP bail, but he noted that detaining him further would affect DJ Evolve now that Babu has been paying for his treatment. LSK says this poses several challenges. One, given that ordinary cash bail is paid to the court, what would happen if the accused is acquitted, yet all the money has been used up to pay the hospital bills? There will be no refund to the accused in accordance with the law. 2. paying for the victim's bill is required to be compensation. Does it mean that the accused has already been proven guilty?
If what has been done by Honorable Ndai becomes accepted, then it will open the door for even poor Kenyans who cannot afford to pay the bail in one installment to make applications to pay it in a number of installments.
Ndai also ordered Babu Owino to refrain from consuming alcohol and using narcotics. LSK questions this move, saying the order is problematic as it touches on Babu Owino's individual personality, so the implementation can be tricky. Given that narcotics are prohibited, would it be illegal for the magistrate to make an order for it not to be consumed publicly? Does it then mean one can still consume the narcotics in private?
I think it can be treated as a reasonable condition.
Babu has also been restrained from commenting on the case in the media or any public forums he is to attend in his capacity as an MP. The case will be mentioned on February 6th for directions on the pre-trial. Mel Miendo, NTV.
What's that they say about the law? It's as we move on to politics. Jubilee Party Secretary General Raphael Tuju says the ruling party will not hold a parliamentary group meeting if its purpose is to undermine the Building Bridges initiative.
In a reaction to a meeting by legislators who have pledged allegiance to Deputy President William Ruto's cause, Tuju says that the party is opposed to any parallel BBI consultative forums. Seth Olale was at the ruling party's headquarters.
A two-day retreat of legislators allied to Jubilee Party Deputy Leader William Ruto resolved to hold parallel BBI meetings in a move to counter forums held by ODM leader Raila Odinga with the blessings of the president. Now, the party's Secretary General is pouring cold water on that resolution.
Well, even if there are 1,000 members, as long as it does not comply with the constitution of the party, it cannot be a PG. That is fact. If they feel that what I'm saying is not correct, let them go and look at the constitution of the party. Any resolutions that are reached in the absence of the party leader are not party resolutions. But Kenyans do have a right of association.
The handshake and the resultant BBI has been a point of departure for the warring factions with the ruling party. The SG insists that the president's directive is clear.
So if the purpose of a PG is to undermine the BBI, I can tell you that it is something that we should not be agitating for. BBI and this whole process of bringing the country together, I'd like to repeat, is more important than Jubilee itself. The president has said it, and I think I articulated this before.
Tuju's reaction is guaranteed to put him on a collision course with the legislators who have been calling for his ouster. But the challenges within the ruling party go beyond the BBI.
We have challenges in Jubilee Party. We haven't met as a party for the last 2 years. We have not had a PG. That's the correct position. We are going to have party elections, hopefully in March. But we will, that is an in-house matter for us as a party. We will sit down, we will work it out, and we will move forward.
Party elections is yet another hurdle. A match date has been mooted, but the deputy party leader and the secretary general appear to be reading from different scripts.
We haven't had a meeting of NEC as well, yeah. But you know, when we meet, there is basically agreement that there will come an opportunity for us to meet as NEC. There will come an opportunity for us to meet as PG. There will come an opportunity for us to organize our party so that we can move into the next election.
DP Ruto has been vocal about strengthening the ruling party. Political analysts view it as a leading outfit for the DP in succeeding President Uhuru Kenyatta come 2022.
The ruling party maintains that all its upcoming agenda, that includes the elections, will be communicated and effected through resolutions. Seth Olale, NTV, at the Jubilee Party headquarters, Nairobi County.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has spoken publicly for the first time since the beginning of the Building Bridges Initiative regional consultative rallies, reiterating his commitment to uniting the nation to the initiative.
The head of state sought to quell the dissenting voices over the BBI, terming it a solution to the ills bedeviling the country. Bridget Ngana has more.
The president's choice of venue, the new national cement plant here in Salga, could have been symbolic of what his thoughts are on the contentious Building Bridges initiative, a necessary ingredient in his quest to seal the cracks on the foundations of this country.
Na tusiogope tukija pamoja. It is what is necessary for stability and to move this country forward. Na mimi sitatingizika. Hapo ndipo mimi nipo na nitasonga mbele na hiyo line mpaka nihakikishe ya kwamba Wakenya wako na amani.
For President Kenyatta, the BBI is a legacy document that would rid the country of the constant anxiety in electioneering periods.
Sio baada ya kila miaka mitano kila Mkenya ati yako na hofu, nitaamuka namna gani, itakuwa nini? Hapana, tunataka Mkenya apige kura, aende nyumbani, akule ugali na chapati na mama, agojee matokeo, siku hiyo ingine amerudi kazi na hakuna kitu, hakuna mwagikaji wa damu. Na hiyo safari hakuna mtu atanizuia jameni. Hiyo nimesema. Hiyo safari nitatimiza.
At separate rallies in Subukia and Bahati sub-counties, the president chided the Bahati member of parliament for his opposition to the BBI. He then went on to woo the public to join the BBI train.
Sisi tunataka taifa yetu isonge mbele. Hiyo ndio haja yetu kubwa, tuwe na amani, Kenya isonge mbele. Kwa sababu Kenya haiwezi songa mbele tukiwa kila saa na matatizo na matatizo na matatizo. Hiyo haiwezi kuwa ni dawa. Dawa ni amani na umoja ya Wakenya ndio kazi iweze kufanyika. Na ndivyo mnasikia nikitaja kila wakati ya kwamba kama kuna kitu mimi nitawacha, nataka kuacha amani wakati yangu itafika. Watu wa Kenya wawe wamekaa pamoja. Kwa sababu dunia na nchi ambayo iko na amani mengi yapatikana. Dunia ambayo iko na vurugu kila wakati, maendeleo inakwama, pesa inapotea.
As BBI-related rallies head to Nakuru on different dates, the stage is set for a possible twist in the plot. Nakuru is the birthplace of the ruling party through a pact between the president and his deputy prior to the 2013 elections. With the possibility of a presidential decree that will see local investors finally benefit from their sweat and toil under the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya initiative, when it came to the BBI, the president said that that is a journey that he is committed to see to its completion, since he says that is an initiative that will unite this country for years to come. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Nakuru County.
And that's not all the politics surrounding the Building Bridges initiative. Leaders who are loyal to President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are now claiming that those opposed to the initiative are plotting to impeach, would you believe it, the head of state.
The legislators allege that the plot to remove President Kenyatta was hatched during a meeting held in Naivasha by those allied to DP William Ruto. Brenda Wanga has more.
Reaction to Jubilee's Tanga declaration from Naivasha on the BBI has been swift.
So anyone who wants to get into such arrangement should directly engage with the person the president appointed. If he is now appointed Murkomen, then it means he's directly challenging the authority and powers of the leader of Jubilee, the president of the Republic of Kenya, who is Uhuru Kenyatta.
The ODM and the pro-BBI brigade see a hidden agenda in the actions of the Murkomen-led team in Naivasha.
It's our firm belief that the rationale of the Naivasha meeting was a dirty scheme by the deputy president to undermine President Uhuru Kenyatta.
They are trying to gauge, they are trying to see how many people they have. We know they are building up issues so that they initiate the impeachment of the president. We will deal with them at that time. We are waiting for them and we are prepared for them.
According to Raila and Uhuru allies, the two-day Naivasha meeting was also short on facts.
I want to challenge them to publish those names. There were 73 members of parliament there, but this idea that they want to pump up that they have the numbers, we want to challenge them to publish those numbers and do not continue to confuse Kenyans.
The legislators insist that the Naivasha team is not honest in its stand on the BBI. Earlier last week, the Murkomen-led team had pledged their support for the initiative, going as far as attending the Mombasa meeting on Saturday. But now, they seem to have changed their tune.
Sasa tumejua mahali penye mupo, mukija kwa hizo mikutano Murkomen na wenzako hamutapewa nafasi kuongea, muende kwa mikutano zenyu, mujue sasa hizi BBI nyinyi mko kando na sisi tuko kando.
If you want to do another BBI, go and do your own handshake with whoever you want and then come up with your own BBI and then do parallel meetings.
Lakini yote ambayo walikuwa wanafanya jana ni mambo ya kujitakia ukubwa, ni maneno ya kujipatia sifa ili waonekane wao ndio wanashikilia mwananchi wa kawaida, ili hali ni utapeli mtupu.
The proposal by the Naivasha team to have more funds for the judiciary was also condemned as a ploy to have the deputy president influence the judiciary.
The truce between the two factions appears to have been very short-lived as both groups retreat to their initial hard-line positions, setting the stage for what appears to be a highly charged political couple of months. Brenda Wanga, NTV, Nairobi.
10 people have been arrested in connection with the murder of a General Service Unit officer, and the arrests come as fresh violence erupted in Transmara West caused by a protracted land dispute.
The Narok County Commissioner Samuel Kimiti assured residents of security even as the clans continue to fight over land.
The brutal killing of a GSU officer Monday evening tells of the tension in Transmara West. One chief is among those arrested in connection with the murder.
Akielekea nyumbani vijana walimtoa kwa bodaboda na wakamuua. Na wale walimuua wakaingia kwa miwa, wakakimbia, wakapotea tu na wasaka hata saa hii.
The body of the deceased officer has since been ferried to Kilgoris Sub-County Hospital mortuary. The Nkararo-Enuretet boundary between Syria and Wasingishu clans in Transmara West Sub-County is the origin of the clashes. Elders in the region who sought anonymity for fear of reprisal from government officials say it was wrong to punish a chief from only one of the clans over the murder, a move they say amounted to intimidation.
Wale ambao wanataka kushindana na serikali tuko tayari, kwa sababu kazi ya serikali ni kulinda mali na uhai wa wananchi.
Last month, the government completed the marking of the boundary by putting a 4-kilometer road to separate the two warring clans. The county commissioner is urging those with legitimate title deeds to report any trespassers. Gena Kirori, NTV.
A Transmara story transitions into a break here on NTV tonight. It's 26 minutes past the hour, but coming up.
Embattled Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu in a desperate push for survival. We tell you about the Senate impeachment hearing next.
With Lipa M-Pesa, you get more, and now you can win. Lipa M-Pesa. There are surprise gifts to 8 customers every minute. Tractors with extras. Lipa M-Pesa. Plus 6 apartments to be given away. Make payments via M-Pesa Buy Goods or Pay Bill. Every 100 shillings spent on Lipana M-Pesa earns you an entry into the draw. Do more with Lipana M-Pesa.
What do you see on the horizon? They say how you start your decade will determine how the rest of it will be. Imagine a decade full of opportunities, investment being one of them. Do you want a place to feed your mind, body and soul? A place to unwind every day, where you can get your health and fitness goals attained? A secure place for your family? A center for quality academic goals for your kids? Or perhaps a place to connect with your friends? Well, you can get all this and more at Amani Ridge, the place of peace, just 20 kilometers from the CBD. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Birthday party. Birthday party.
Birthday party. Are we not invited? We have gifts. Malaria.
Mommy, best.
Rat.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to Northway Spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Inakwambia bibi kuna mdenge fulani bibi hapo na nywele refu yani. Kuna ngoko fulani bibi amemezali yake hadi Sio jado madonna kutupinya mtu mbao. Mimi nimemjenga dhao gari ilikuwa salasa akaniambia nimjenge 17 hapa tena that yangu.
The way this position is tiring. Nimechoka.
Who's that? Ni shosho fulani hapa hivi.
Ati shosho.
Call for long at 1 shilling 50 cents to all networks.
Cartello.
Dial star 544 hash to subscribe. Telcom, moving with you.
Multibet imebakisha game moja tu idunge bullseye. Game moja imechoma lakini Mozart imelipa. Pokea Mozart Refund cashback kila mara mechi moja inachoma. Fanya uamuzi.
Sasa nikiapproach mtu si ataanza makesi.
So unataka tufanye aje? And clearly we are running out of time, Camila.
Can you impress them once and just can I know what's happening in that photos? Na wewe nipige hiyo picha. Na zote ni kazi ya Nyambegea.
I, Crotus Theophilus Abong the Third, do take you Camila Wanjera Chege Minji.
Umemudu bado kwa tajua kari sekta.
As long as mimi na Crotus tuko happy it's okay.
Huyu mama anaenda kwa soko huko anachukua wig, anaosha ndiye anavaa kwa kichwa. What do you mean?
Thanks for staying with us on NTV tonight.
Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu has denied accusations by the County Assembly which impeached him.
Waititu says the accusations were part of a propaganda by his opponents who wanted him out of office.
The embattled Kiambu chief was appearing before the Senate for his impeachment hearing, coming on the back of charges of abuse of office, violation of the Constitution and conflict of interest.
Here's NTV's Silas Apollo with more.
This opportunity to welcome you.
After agonizing days in the cold following his ouster from the helm of Kiambu County government, Governor Ferdinand Waititu finally met his accusers. Waititu appeared before the Senate for the hearing of his impeachment case, and for the first time, the governor was given a chance to defend himself.
There has been a lot of propaganda through social media, bloggers being paid by politicians to malign my name, and it has gone to a level that they always get away with the propaganda.
Waititu was impeached by MCAs on grounds of gross violation of the Constitution, abuse of office, conflict of interest, among other charges. But the county boss says the House was not properly constituted to impeach him.
I was never given a chance to be heard. And I personally had sent my lawyers who are there sitting, and they were recognized from the morning, and they were waiting to be heard after the accusations, and they were never given that chance, Mr. Speaker.
The Assembly, on the other hand, argued that the House relied on solid evidence during its impeachment session.
Not in dispute is that at no time has Governor Waititu disputed a single fact that has been presented, not at the County Assembly and not before you.
Waititu has been out in the cold since July last year after the court barred him from office pending the hearing of a 51.2 million shillings corruption case. Waititu's lawyer said in the afternoon questioned Solomon Kinuthia. The MCA would move the motion on impeachment of the governor. The MCA was hard-pressed to prove his allegations, including argument that Susan Wangari is Waititu's wife and the children named are indeed part of the family that is said to have benefited from tenders in the county. Back in Kiambu, residents have been holding protest against the embattled governor. The protesters claim they have no faith in the governor, even if he survives the ouster.
Tunataka sasa hiyo ihakikishwe na sheria ambayo itapitishwa na Senate leo ya kwamba Waititu ameondolewa kuwa governor wa Kiambu.
And with the conclusion of today's special sitting session, focus now shift on tomorrow's session, where members of the Senate are expected to vote on whether to save the governor or send him home. Silas Apollo, NTV, at Parliament Buildings.
Now, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government is calling on non-governmental organizations to support the government in the war on corruption.
Matiang'i says NGOs should be involved in engaging Kenyans on governance issues more often instead of waiting for the election year to commence such programs.
The CS has also challenged NGOs to educate Kenyans to make an informed decision on the ongoing debate on the Building Bridges initiative.
And this was said during the launch of the 2018-2019 annual NGOs sector report that also marked the beginning of the NGOs week this year.
And during the period, the sector received 165.97 billion shillings in funding.
After a very long drought.
Unless we are very careful about these things, we are going to destroy our society if we don't have this kind of conversations. And you are the people who should help our people understand this. So that leadership should not go to the highest bidder. Those who have money to buy loyalty and buy other people and so on and so forth. You should be at the forefront of supporting President Kenyatta in his war against corruption, entrenching values of honesty and integrity in our society.
All right, it's just gone past 1:30 the hour. This is NTV Tonight. Time for a quick break, but the business news with Julian's is coming up.
Among those stories, Central Bank of Kenya warns of imminent risks even as it remains optimistic about 2020.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Kwa majina ni Shireke sana. Mimi ni mchezaji tu. Ndoto yangu mimi iko nitachezea Harambee Starlet, niende ngambo. Nikirudi nitasaidia mamangu kwa shida. Na ninaona hii ndoto itaanza na betika na community.
Hii timu yenye hii msichana yangu anachezea, tulianza tukiwa na maono, tunataka tukuze talents ya wasichana, sababu wasichana huwa wanabaki nyuma na wanaenda ma street.
We are very excited because every time we see the excited faces of the young players when they get their kits and their new balls, it gives us a urge to continue investing in the communities.
Betika na community iliongeza morali kwa timu ya Gusii Starlet mpaka wakapiwa mtu mabao 23. Tukiwa na Betika na community, hii timu itaenda mbali, itacheza premier na watoto watajisaidia.
Are you a KCSE graduate? Congratulations! Achieve your career dream by enrolling for a rewarding course with KASNEB. KASNEB is a professional examination body with a mandate to offer globally recognized professional, diploma, and certificate qualifications through various accredited institutions. Enroll now for professional qualification whose entry grade is C+, Diploma in Credit Management, or Accounting Technician Diploma course whose entry requirement is a C- in KCSE, or for Certificate in Accounting and Management Skills comes with a minimum grade of D plain. For more details, call 020-4923-000 or visit our website on www.kasneb.or.ke. KASNEB, be empowered.
Welcome home to Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Your own urban sanctuary. A lifestyle waiting for you just 20 kilometers from the CBD. A place to unwind and get your health and fitness goals attained. A secure place for your family. A place for your children to have fun. A place to enjoy a sundowner. Success just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. Make the impossible possible. Invest in Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Luxury you can afford. Call us today on 0790 300 300 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
For maximum cavity protection. And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Your multi-bet is only trying to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Glad you could join us on the only name in business. Welcome, I am Julian Amboko. Even with the harsh start of the year, given the locust invasion, the rising political temperatures, and the weak global economy, the Central Bank of Kenya believes the economy will do better in 2020 than it did in 2019. The CBK puts last year's growth at 5.7% and expects GDP to expand by 6.2% this year. Alex Mwangi with the details.
In giving a growth forecast of 6.2% for 2020, the Central Bank of Kenya's governor believes the economy will weather the storms of both internal and external factors that may be a drag on the economy.
No matter how you slice it, things are not looking great in the global economy.
Over the last 3 months, 3 key events have taken place in the country's financial sector. The first one being the repeal of the interest rate caps. The second one being the cut in the CBR rate from 9.0% to 8.5%. And just yesterday, the MPC further reduced the CBR from 8.5% to 8.25%. The impact of these policies, however, is not instantaneous.
You generally expect something like 3 months before things begin to kick in. Let's be patient. Things take time.
Credit to the private sector. A key metric under watch following the repeal of the interest rate caps grew by 7.1% in the 12 months to December 2019. Overall, the CBK projects credit to the private sector will grow by 11.8% this year.
I have also directed the National Treasury.
In his first address to the nation to set the agenda of policy reforms made earlier this month, President Uhuru Kenyatta gave a raft of directives touching on, among others, the agriculture sector and the micro, small and medium enterprises sector.
If these actually are implemented, the issue for us is always implementation. So if we implement things correctly, then you can see a substantial improvement in these sectors would be reformed, would be transformed. And that would obviously lead to a significant increase in the GDP.
The governor also spoke about climate change, citing the extreme climatic conditions in some parts of the globe, saying that they are a reminder that we really need to do something to tackle climate change. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
And away from monetary policy, farmers in Murang'a County are fearing for their produce amid heavy rains pounding the region, affecting harvesting and exposing them to post-harvest losses. With the new planting season fast approaching, the farmers now want the weatherman and other experts to advise on what to do to save their harvest and how best to reap from the heavy downpour. In its latest update, the Kenya Meteorological Department said most parts of the country would receive heavy rainfall, which would subside at the beginning of February.
Sasa zile tunashindwa ni mvua ya mmea hii imeanza kunyesha Januari na Januari hakuwagi na mvua. Kwa hiyo tunataka wataalamu wa hewa waje watuoneshe vile tutafanya na hii mvua. Kwa vile mahindi yetu iko kwa shamba hatujatoa na yote iko bichi. Ile tunasema tuambiwe hii Januari, hii mvua ya Januari kama tunaweza pandia au bandu. Kuna maembe iko kwa shamba yote inateremuka chini, yote inaosa.
hiyo unyevu baadaye ipungue, yaendelea kwenda juu na itafanya hii mahindi yose ilete sumu. Ningeuliza serikali ya kaunti, watu wa agriculture na public health, tuhamazishe wananchi wa Murang'a wale ambao wanatoa umuhimu ya kukausha, na ile shinda inakuja ni vile jua haiko na mvua. Tunaangalia kama idara wiki yote itakuwa na mvua.
Let's talk about fiscal policy. The national government expects to spend 460 billion shillings in settling interest payments for public debt between July 2020 and June 2021, an amount which could take up 25% of all tax revenue expected to be raised over the same period. This comes even as the Treasury promises to focus more on concessional borrowing going forward.
In its budget policy statement published in January 2020, the National Treasury projects that 311.4 billion shillings will be used in settling interest for domestic debt, while 147.6 billion shillings will be used in settling interest on foreign debt. The total of 459 billion shillings will represent an increase of 3.9% from the amount spent in paying interest between July 2019 and June 2020. This signals the growing burden taxpayers are bearing as a consequence of the state's high appetite for borrowing both domestically and externally. In the same period, the National Treasury expects to spend 490.7 billion shillings in public sector wages and salaries, a slight increase from the 487 billion shillings projected in the revised budget for financial year 2019-2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wage bill as a percentage of revenue.
The November 2019 National Wage Bill Conference resolved to have the Salaries and Remuneration Commission develop a national performance management policy to streamline and standardize public sector compensation at both national and county government levels. On the division of revenue front, the National Treasury is proposing to allocate county governments 317.8 billion shillings for the period between July 2020 and June 2021. An increase of 1.3 billion shillings from the amount allocated in the present financial year. The amount proposed by the National Treasury is, however, lower than the 321.7 billion shillings proposed by the Commission on Revenue Allocation as the amount that should be designated for devolved governments in the next financial year. Stakeholders such as the Office of the Controller of Budget and the Judicial Service Commission had until the close of business on Tuesday, which is today, to submit their comments on the proposals from the National Treasury.
And back to matters agriculture, all tea producers and factories across the country have less than 2 weeks to disclose the payments they made to farmers over the last 2 years in a move aimed at addressing dwindling earnings for the sector. This follows a letter from the Tea Directorate requesting all tea producers, factories and management agencies to furnish the authority with the monthly and final payments paid to growers for the green leaf they delivered in 2018 and 2019. The Directorate head, Anthony Smriti, says the details will be used to guide the process of formulating policy interventions to address some of the issues ailing the tea sector. This happens in the background of President Uhuru Kenyatta's recently ordering the Competition Authority to restructure the Kenya Tea Development Agency to ensure tea farmers get more revenue for their tea sales. Now, just days after the National Cement completed its buyout of Athi River Mining's assets, the company has opened its fifth plant in Salga, Nakuru County. Early this month, National Cement, a subsidiary of the Devki Group, completed its 5 billion shillings acquisition of Athi River Mining, which was placed under administration in August 2018 under a pile of debt. Companies in the cement sector have come under immense pressure in the recent past, with the East African Portland Cement sending home 800 staff in August 2019.
Or we reduce importation of the clinker so that the local manufacturers get the advantage to sell locally, because we use all 100% material from Kenya. It's my commitment, personal commitment to His Excellency, that by 2022, my company will employ directly 10,000 people.
A significant investment in upgrading Kenya's road and railway infrastructure, in expanding the electrical grid, and ensuring its greater stability, and in enhancing the ease of doing business has ensured that every county in Kenya is witnessing increased investments, and this will in turn set our nation on a path of rapid and inclusive growth.
Salga is transforming from a place of accidents to a place of hope, where we create employment and create work for our people.
And that story takes us to the close of business. I leave you with the financial report.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
Have what it takes to become the next generation of great innovators, business magnates, corporate icons, engineers, and renowned researchers? Be part of over 40,000 students pursuing and nurturing their career at Moi University. Enroll now for January, May, and September 2020 intakes for postgraduate, degree, and diploma programs in the following schools: School of Business and Economics, School of Arts and Social Sciences, School of Information Sciences, School of Education, School of Agriculture and Natural Resources, School of Biological and Physical Sciences, School of Tourism, Hospitality and Events Management, School of Aerospace Science, School of Public Health, School of Medicine, School of Engineering, School of Law, School of Nursing, School of Dentistry. Enroll now. Moi University, the foundation of knowledge.
Welcome to our big family. You see, in this family, we have fun together and we look out for each other because we care. We share whatever we have. We protect and support each other. Welcome home, where we love and care for each other. We're so excited that you're joining us.
Welcome to the new member of our Nivea family. New Nivea Petroleum Jelly Essence, enriched with glycerin for long-lasting moisture and protection.
Multibet imebakisha game moja tu idunge bullseye. Game moja imechoma, lakini Mozart imelipa. Pokea Mozart Refund Cashback kila mara mechi moja inachoma. Fanya uamuzi.
We We continue with the menacing desert locusts, which are still on the move, and this time they have been spotted in Machakos County.
That's right. Residents of Masaku village spent an entire day shouting away the pests in the most crude of ways. Melita Oletenges was there.
Whistles, drums, screams and even curses. This is how desperate residents of Masaku have become. A swarm of locusts has been sweeping through the village, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake.
Baasi, mahindi iko huku inakula hata miti hata nyasi sinakula yote, alafu sisi hatujui mahali tunaenda.
Tudili kwanza na locusts, sawa mambo ya BBI tuko, lakini tunaomba cha kwanza kabisa locusts idiliwe nayo ipate kuisha kabisa.
Pupils had to forego classes and join the villagers in the chase. Desperate times have called for desperate measures here.
Vile wanasema wataspray, watusaidie sababu hatunjaona place imesprayiwa na ikakufa. Sasa tunashindwa aidha wanaspray itatusaidia aje. Vile tunaomba ni serikali ikuje waone vile itatusaidia.
Tunaumia sana watu wa Jaba hawana amani. Vijana wanateta bado, hakuna Jaba, hakuna biashara. Tutafanyaje biashara bila yani na hizi mastafa hapa?
The locals have got reprieve. An aeroplane has been dispatched to conduct aerial spraying, but there are worries over how effective this will be given the migratory nature of the locusts.
But what I can ask the government is to continue with the same effort and make sure that because we are all Kenyans, they might have moved from my ward, but they are still going to different wards, different sub-counties, so that we can end this menace.
The United Nations Food Agriculture Organization has called for emergency funding of 7 billion shillings to combat the locusts. Experts are calling for advanced drone technology to contain the invasion. Melita Oletenges, NTV.
And this is no laughing matter. I totally agree with that, man. Locusti diliwe nayo. Forget BBI first. Let's deal with this. Hakiao. And into something that you don't quite hear a lot in Africa.
That is right. All right, well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has formally been indicted on corruption charges, and that is just what you're talking about, Mark. Just hours before he was set to meet President Donald Trump for the unveiling of the US administration's long-anticipated Middle East peace plan.
Netanyahu has been charged with bribery and fraud and breach of trust in 3 separate corruption cases. Israel's Attorney General submitted the indictment in Jerusalem District Court on Tuesday, shortly after Netanyahu withdrew his request for parliamentary immunity.
The charges in court mean that Netanyahu will be the first sitting prime minister to face trial in the country's history. A trial date has not yet been set, but the legal process could possibly, well, here you go, take years. Under Israeli law, Netanyahu does not have to resign, though, upon indictment.
Time for another break here on NTV Tonight. Carter Villis is up next with the sports.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Registration for January, May and September 2020 intakes is ongoing. Apply now. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Molfix breathable surface developed with airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Did you know? We are a leading African banking group with over 1,000 branches and almost 10,000 ATMs across the continent. Absa Group, serving Kenya as Barclays.
Kupika kila mtu ajipikie yake. Na vyombo za nani? Kwa nani?
Am I not getting some?
Ice cream ya wageni. Wewe nitakuletea maji kwa jikoni.
A girl's gotta eat to keep up with you, Mr. Guns.
Well, that's absolutely correct.
This festive season, get a decoder with subscription at an unbelievable festive offer of only 1,499 shillings. You can also pay 1 month and enjoy 2 weeks free on a higher bouquet. For more information, call 0719 077 077.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cashback. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Saini ki-approach mtu si ataanza makesi.
So unataka tufanye aje? And clearly we are running out of time, Camila.
Can you impress them once and just can I know what's happening in that photos? Nani alipiga hiyo picha? Na zote ni kazi ya Nyambegea.
I, Crotus Theophilus Abong the Third, do take you Camila Wanjera Chege Minji.
Umemudu bado kwa tajua kari sekta.
As long as mimi na Crotus tuko happy, it's okay.
Huyu mama anaenda kwa soko huko anachukua wig, anaosha ndiye anavaa kwa kichwa. What do you mean?
NTV Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Shankar De Villis with the latest sports news. Now, the Football Kenya Federation ratified deliberations of consultative public meetings across the country in a special general meeting held on Tuesday, addressing the issues raised on the FKF Electoral Code, as well as the FKF Electoral Board by the Sports Dispute Tribunal. This in a bid to make the March deadline for repeat elections. Brian Otwal has the latest.
Keep your hand down.
In a bid to reset its election process, Football Kenya Federation held a special general meeting, focus being to comply with the requirements of the Sports Dispute Tribunal. Bone of contention was the composition of the Elections Board and the Electoral Code. In the SGM, President Nick Mwendwa mobilized a unanimous vote to adopt the amended Electoral Code that had seen the election process nullified. The delegates adopted the new amended code with 72 votes approving it.
We also have to work within the confines of football and sport. But I can tell you that we are here and our job is to follow the statutes, and we have followed the statutes to get the job done.
From the branch elections, the sub-branches, a conversion from the 290 constituencies, will hold their elections after March in turns for a period of 90 days. 3 of the officials from the sub-branches will then join the 48 county officials to participate and manage football leagues at the grassroots.
We cannot conduct an election in 290 sub-branches. An average cost is $500,000. Surely, you cannot do that. The reason why we increase the branches is so that we have no need to start doing elections at the what? At the sub-branches. So that you go and vote. If you're in the sub-branch, go and vote at the branch. You are represented. You have your chairman there.
Meanwhile, 68 of the delegates voted in the new electoral board, a big leap towards the repeat elections. The board comprised of Kentis Tikolo, Patrick Matthew Onyango, Ali Hassan Kauleni, Alfred Ndinya and Samuel Karanja. Gor Mahia's Sally Bolo and AFC Leopards chairman Dan Shikanda, representing their clubs, abstained from the vote.
An agenda. It's a challenge, I can tell you, to find the right independent people to lead an election that has been questioned already. People don't want to take part in it. And so we have to talk to many people, and we have to look at representation in a diverse way. Religion part, women part, this kind of things. But also people who understand football, and also people who have a record of integrity in them.
The board that will elect its chairperson and vice chairperson will now be mandated to conduct repeat elections. Meanwhile, the FKF president and his now confirmed Secretary General Barry Otieno are expected to leave for Zurich, Switzerland on Wednesday. They will be joined by Sports CS Amina Mohamed, as well as the Sports Registrar and the Sports Dispute Tribunal Chair John Ohaga, to brief FIFA on the developments regarding the elections so far. FIFA wants FKF elections done by the end of March, a month after the current regime's tenure expiry on the February 10th this year.
Coming back on Saturday, This matter of election is finished. My encouragement is if you want to run, if you want to run, prepare your nomination papers, get your Chapter 6 documents ready, because a week from now, we will have nominations for branches. It's not going to be stopped. I hear some fellows still want to go to court. I encourage them. If they want to go to court, let them go. The process we have done now cannot be challenged. I'm sorry.
Former Vihiga County Governor Moses Akaranga, former AFC Leopards Chairman Alex Olemagelo, and Gor Mahia CEO Lodvik Aduda are some of the FKF top job hopefuls. Brian Otwal, NTV Sport.
Now, with the Tokyo Olympics less than 6 months away, Tuesday saw senior National Olympic Committee of Kenya officials seek the counsel of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Meanwhile, in football, it's opposite sides of the spectrum for Western steamer Salim Babu and Bandari's Twahir Muhyiddin. This and more in our local sports brief.
National Olympic Committee of Kenya officials had a closed-door meeting with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Tokyo Olympics the main agenda. Kenya will be hoping to make an improvement in this year's games in both performance and in the number of athletes representing the country. Kenya had 89 athletes at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games and finished 15th in the overall medal standings, with 6 gold medals, 6 silver and a bronze that saw the country top Africa.
Without peace, there will be no sports. So generally, we talked on those lines, and also on the issues of funding of sports by the government, and quite a number of issues. I can say that it was a very fruitful meeting we had with Baba today.
He is with us. He has given us his assurance that he will be supportive of our initiatives to ensure that we deliver a scandal-free Olympics with the most medals.
Western steamer coach Salim Babu is the recipient of the December Coach of the Month award. Babu beat out Tusker FC tactician Robert Matano to win the gong for a second time this season. Both coaches won 3 games and drew once in December, but Babu's superior goal difference propped him above Matano. The steamer coach pocketed 75,000 shillings courtesy of the event sponsors. Western Steamer are currently 7th on the log with 30 points from 17 games.
So pia ni motivation nzuri kwa kama coaches kupata vitu kama hizi na nashukuru Mungu pia.
The arrival of Twahir Muhyiddin as Bandari head coach failed to have immediate impact as the Dockers were humbled 3-0 by Gor Mahia in the Kenyan Premier League. However, the former Harambee Stars coach assures fans of improved performance, having identified the problem with previous tactics used. Bandari play Posta Rangers in their next league match.
Mazoezi yatakiwa yawe ni makali lakini mafupi. Na mazoezi kiwango sasa ni kupima. Lazima watu wakifikia siku ya mchezo wawe na nguvu za kucheza ule mchezo. Hivyo sio nguvu zote unapoteza kwenye mazoezi. Ukifika kwenye mchezo unaanza kulia kama mkufunzi, tumejifunza hili. Hawana nguvu.
Kenya Commercial Bank continue their overhaul in the local volleyball league, this time acquiring the services of national team skipper Mercy Moim on a 3-year deal. The bankers have also signed Sharon Chepchumba from Pipeline and Edith Wissa from Champions Kenya Prisons. KCB won their last Africa Club title back in 2006 and are in the process of rebuilding under head coach Paul Bitok.
KCB is my second home because first I started KCB, then after I went to prison and now I'm back to KCB.
Now, the pilot of the helicopter that crashed near Los Angeles, killing 9 people on board, including NBA great Kobe Bryant, told air traffic controllers in his last radio message that he was climbing to avoid a cloud layer before plunging more than 1,000 feet into a hillside, an accident investigator has said. A radar indicated that the helicopter reached a height of 2,300 feet on Sunday morning. up an Australian Open semi-final against Roger Federer after producing another clinical performance to beat Canadian 32nd seed Milos Raonic. Djokovic dismantled Raonic's potent serve to win 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 despite an eye problem.
Sport in association with Mozart Bet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, well, that is where we wind up the broadcast. Thanks so much for watching. It's just a few minutes past 10 o'clock. Thanks to our sign language interpreter as well, David Agondoa. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. We'll be back tomorrow, but Sidebar is up next.
And if you can hear that signature laughter of Mutula Kalonzo Jr., he is, of course, he is in studio on the other side with Ken Mijungu alongside Moses Kuria and John Mbadi. They're talking conditions, BBI conditions, commitments, and compromises. Something to look forward to after this. Good night. I'm Mark Masai.